I am in a mentoring program. One of the things that I found is most beneficial to me and my own success and what I'm able to achieve is to be a part of a group of fellow business owners, fellow leaders, people who are in my industry and successful. And so we formed this very informal group that started meeting once a week on an evening, and we just talk about stuff that's bothering us, not bothering us, items of issues, stuff that could affect, our positions and what we do and our own businesses. And I found that really helpful because I now am receiving insight from someone who might not necessarily know exactly what I'm going through, but I trust enough to provide feedback on a particular topic or situation that I find of interest. And for me, that is incredibly powerful because you now have the perspective of someone who is not in what I would call the emotional trenches of that particular topic, weighed in with their perspective. And emotion does powerful things when you're dealing with a situation. And I have found that if I can have someone kind of just creep in as almost a shadow player and say, hey, why are you doing that? Or here's something that you may not have thought of. One other benefit of surrounding myself with some mentors is that we have made a pact with one another that we will always tell each other the unfiltered truth. I can go and I can complain on, Facebook, where I'm connected with all my friends or whatever on social media. And if I complain about something, you ever notice how, all those people will jump on your bandwagon and be like, oh, I feel so bad for you. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Or, that sucks. Or if you were to, for instance, if you were to complain about your boss on social media, you would find everybody that follows you would go, that guy sucks, or that person was so wrong for what they did to you. However, I have surrounded myself with people who are not afraid to tell me the honest truth. And there's something really refreshing if you can reprogram your brain to accept this type of feedback. When a friend can look at you dead in the eye and say, you were wrong, and here's why I think you're wrong. So for someone to be able to say that to you could be offensive. It's gonna hurt. No one likes the truth. But something, the amount of growth and the amount of usefulness in that statement, I find to be very impactful. And I find it to be something that I will cherish for a long time. And those are my friends, quite frankly, the ones that I want to keep around. And then back to this mentoring thing, how do you form a mentoring group? You know what? One day I had one friend of mine who's a fellow business owner. He said, hey, how do you feel about jumping on Google Meet this Thursday at 6:30 p.m.? And we did it. And we found that while we were chatting, and at first I was like, why are we doing this, right? And then as we were chatting, we were talking about real issues that affected us in our own respective businesses. And suddenly that turned into, we got off the call, and it was this, we both had this moment of, that was super helpful. And then the very next day, I receive an email with an agenda for our next conversation. And my friend sends me this email and he says, hey, this is what we're going to talk about on our next mentoring call. I need to get this stuff off my chest. And so why don't you send me what you want to talk about? So that's what we did. We started sending each other. And then I talked to another person about this, and they were like, that sounds amazing. How do you feel if I was to jump in on that? And then we got another and another in the very similar fashion. Now we have 4 or 5 people, regularly. We have a total of 6 to 8 people, and regular attendees in the 4 to 5 range. And those moments, getting on those video chats for an hour and just A, venting, but then B, weighing in on something from your perspective based on the information that was presented to you about a field that you know nothing about, and all you have is the relevant information from the person in your group without any expectation of cheering them on or cutting them down. We just give our unfiltered opinion on how we perceive that situation. And it is what comes out of that and the brainstorming that follows has made me better at running my own business. So for what it's worth, if you've never tried just getting a group of honest friends together, and or not friends, acquaintances, and just talking about issues going on in your world, have found that it's made me way more successful and productive and energized when I come off those calls, and I'm able to apply that information that I've received real time to my business.